What if you could make some simple but transformative shifts in practice to make learning to read easier, not harder for children? And what if those same brain-friendly routines could actually save you, the teacher, both time and energy? You'd want to know what those routines were, wouldn't you? I'm Kerry Yates, one of the authors of Shifting the Balance: 6 Ways to Bring the Science of Reading into the Balanced Literacy Classroom. Jan Berkins and I wrote the book and designed the companion online class in order to do just that. We want to build your understanding of how the reading brain develops while also giving you really practical and powerful instructional routines that you can use starting immediately. In Shifting the Balance, we zoom in on 6 critical areas of early literacy that really stood out to us in our deep dive into the research. These are areas we believe we must get right in order to see more kids succeed as readers with less struggle. And to help you make these critical shifts, we share a number of high-leverage instructional routines in each of the 6 areas. These routines have the potential to transform your practice, and in doing so, change literacy outcomes for children. But we didn't just pick any instructional strategies. We were very intentional about sharing instructional moves that are what we refer to as high-leverage routines. That is, routines that are relatively small instructional shifts that can create big lift in student reading outcomes. The idea of high leverage is that the routine acts as a lever, and levers make our work easier. Levers are simple machines that allow us to lift something big and potentially overwhelming and impact it with much less effort than we might expect. So when we say high leverage instructional routines, that's what we mean. We mean that the routines we've chosen to share with you are truly powerful, yet you can learn to wield that power with relative ease, which makes these particular routines a great place to start if you're trying to bring more science-aligned practices into your classroom. If you already know us, you know we're big believers in just jumping in and getting started. And that's what we hope Shifting the Balance can help you do. Because when it comes to changes to our practice, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or give in to the paralysis of uncertainty or perfectionism. But momentum has to start somewhere. Choosing one simple start, one high leverage routine, can often lead to a domino effect of change. Speaking of dominoes, this is an all-time favorite YouTube video of ours, and we suggest you look for it. It's about the geometric force of a chain reaction, and we think it's a powerful metaphor for changing instructional practices. In the video, the scientist uses a domino smaller than the nail on your smallest pinky finger to set in motion the energy that eventually topples a series of dominoes, ending with one that weighs more than 100 pounds. Meaningful change has to start somewhere, and that first tiny little domino of instructional change, well, that could be the action that you decide to take today or tomorrow. For example, maybe you decide to get more intentional about teaching phonemic awareness for just a few minutes every day, and you quickly notice that your children are becoming more automatic with blending and segmenting the sounds in words. Or maybe you start to add more opportunities for your students to read and write words and sentences that align with the phonics lessons you're teaching. And you notice their confidence is growing alongside their decoding skills. Or maybe you decide to leverage word chains as an easy, engaging way to differentiate instruction. And you see how it helps children develop their agility in analyzing and manipulating the sounds in words. Angie, a literacy coach from South Carolina who recently read Shifting the Balance and took the online class, had this to say after implementing a series of high leverage routines with a student whom others had almost given up on. She says, I saw tremendous growth in her reading ability and, most importantly, her confidence. Her high frequency word recognition doubled in 3 weeks, and I never explicitly taught her many of the words she learned. Astounding. Angie's excitement demonstrates that implementing just one high leverage routine, a routine that is based on the science of how the brain learns to read, can set in motion a domino effect that truly transforms your practice and makes learning to read easier for the children you serve. This kind of change is especially powerful when we use high leverage routines to replace some other routines that, while seemingly intuitive, might actually be making it harder for some children to learn to read. Our overall goal in Shifting the Balance, the book and the online class, is to give you starting points to make the lift of transformative change feel both accessible and doable from the start. After all, transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens one thoughtful action at a time. So, if you're ready to find your next steps for science-aligned literacy instruction, looking closely at both the why and the how of high-leverage instructional routines, we invite you to join us for Shifting the Balance, the online class. Let's work together to transform our practices, one thoughtful next step at a time.